and then you go outside, and then you are hit with this harsh reality of living in Nordics, where the weather change every 5 minutes. So I like to be prepared. I like to have my sweater and my jacket and some shoes. You never know. You never know when the
Boots.
snow will hit you. You mean boots? Yeah, yeah. This English language, I should start paying
How many
attention more.
how many months a year do you wear a scarf though?
Scarf. Well, it
Yeah.
depends from the season. I have a scarf for each season. I'm not even joking. I took out
Okay,
my
okay.
winter
Wait, wait,
scarf
wait.
yesterday.
Wait. Wait. Stop right there. YouTube's not working. I
I love
love
when this
streaming
thing.
in the
No, it
morning.
is working. It is working.
Oh, it is okay. Well, not
Yeah,
for
yeah.
me.
Don't worry, we are
Okay.
professionals here. Come on, Dan.
Yeah.
We've
Okay.
done this
Okay.
multiple times. We
Okay.
we we,
Okay.
we got this.
Okay. Okay. We got this.
I
We
just
got
hope we
this.
are streaming on the right channel. Like,
What do you think?
yeah,
We're streaming on Mark Lou's channel instead by
yeah, yeah, yeah,
mistake?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And then his follower or subscriber hits the limit, and then he's
Yeah.
scared and he wakes up from his yoga sleeping. I feel like he's even doing yoga in his sleep, which is so strange if you think about it.
Yeah. Yeah. He's surfing in his sleep.
Yeah, yeah,
So
for
yeah,
sure.
what are we doing today? We're talking about B2B. We're talking about a lot of advantages of doing B2B,
Yeah,
and you have hands-on experience with that, right?
I'm so frustrated. I mean, yes, and I think like the first person we're gonna, of course, mention that it actually started this discussion is Tony. He went from being a developer with a salary of 19,000 per a year to now closing a deal worth of 90,000 per an invoice for my own project, which is absolutely crazy. I will mention it in the tweet. But yeah, we I think it's definitely better to move if it's possible with the product to move into B2B,
Yeah.
because
So
that
we
invoice is a dream.
we have the tweet here. I went from a dev with a salary of 90K a year to now closing a deal worth 90K per invoice for my own product. And this is for 5 seats on his Typing Mind product, which is an
Yeah.
AI product. It's like a different way to interact with AI. It's kind of like ChatGPT, but with a more advanced UI.
Mm.
Have you tried it?
Yeah, I did.
Okay,
I
nice.
did try it. I liked it. You can switch models, bring your own. It's very cool. The thing immediately when I saw this, I wanted to know how he's working with companies because it's very interesting product and I want to know like how he's selling to them. One thing he mentioned is that all the features he's building for B2C are actually working for B2B too. So he's still, even though he went into B2B space, to B2B space, he's still managing B2C, which I think it's actually a great funnel to have if you think from like marketing perspective,
Yeah,
because
yeah. But
essentially, yeah,
did you actually do something similar yourself?
very much like if you take a look at how you can reach these B2B, it would be like going into professionals, let's say professionals,
Yeah,
and then from there moving into teams. And this is like also how we position Clue. Um, the most important thing in this process is to know who is paying the bill.
yeah. But don't you need all sorts of
Yes,
certifications
yeah,
and yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So
The first time
how
when
do
we
you start with that?
you pay a bunch of money to get these things. I'm not joking. It was the whole process with like SOC 2 certificate and other things. The first time we stumbled on the problem when going into B2B through professionals is when we had a guy who wanted to, first time he wanted to integrate his Slack, and then he had a big red notice that he cannot do that. So we had to, and he said that he needs to reach out to admin, and then we had to do like job on our side. And then there was an understanding of the difference between the workspaces and the personal account from each integration someone would bring to Clue. So
Got it. Yeah.
ideally would be to when moving to B2B like Tony is doing, or like how we have Clue at the moment, is that you have a personal workspace, and then from there entering teams, and then building
Yeah.
from
So
there.
you take your product at work essentially, and then you convert that personal account to a B2B account.
Mm, mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
But do you think that is a good path, or would it be a better path to start with the idea that you're going to do B2B? Or is that even an option if you're starting small, you're bootstrapped, and you essentially don't have any channel to reach into B2B?
I mean, it's extremely difficult to start with B2B. I mean, at least for me, because each team is different. It's very hard to build a platform that can cater B2B immediately. And I think it's a lot of work to do so without actually knowing what you need to build for these teams. I mean,
Yeah,
if
got
you
it.
take a look at Raycast, he's operating the same way. I mean, bunch of these products, like you can use it on a personal level, but then the goal is to have an option that can push teams into it as well. I think it's
Yeah,
quite hard to build it from scratch, but
yeah, I agree. But maybe it's just for me, it's my lack of experience to be like, how do you even approach this? How do you get started? We have Lucas here, and he's actually saying that for his next $100 million idea, he wants to do B2B because B2C is just misery. And it has an expensive incumbent with bad UX. Um, I'm not actually sure what he means by that. I'm good at UX, and cancerous Windows 98 UIs are everywhere. So I think he's kind of saying that B2B is you have an advantage if you
mm,
can do good UX because not a lot of companies in the area care about it.
mm,
Maybe true, or at least from his experience. And he doesn't look to be in a new market like AI, but just in a growing market. And I think that is perhaps an interesting take that in B2B, you can have a super boring company
yeah,
and you'd be fine as well. I still don't know how you would start this unless, so Lucas here, he already has a B2B product. And I'm fairly sure that if he starts his next idea, he will use the existing customers,
mm,
or at least let them know that there's a new app that they might want to use.
mm,
That's how I imagine it anyway.
for sure. I mean, like if you are already in this space, at least you know how these things work, or who is the main person or a contact person to reach out, at least to test. So I remember, um, I don't know, can I share these things? Like, Dan, you're putting me on the spot.
Just say it's a fictitious company.
Exactly, yeah. So, oh, I love these moments when I say things that I might not, I don't know. I hate signing these things. I already told you, don't sign any papers that tells you
NDAs,
don't
no, no, no,
speak.
no, no,
And then
no.
you speak, and especially if you're a person like me that loves to talk, then you have a problem here. Anyway, it's weekend. They cannot reach me on weekend. Let's wait for Monday. So I'll tell. Okay. So an interesting take. So we had a guy reaching out to implement Clue into his company. Please stop me when you think that this is not good.
I will be a good friend and say you've definitely crossed the NDA when you do, but so far so good.
Okay, thank you. So he reached out. He's working for a huge company. It's Fin Tech company. I can say
Hmm.
that. Good.
So far, so
Um,
good. Yeah, yeah,
Thank you. And the
yeah.
company has been on the market for such a long
Wait, excuse
time.
me, my phone's ringing. There's a lawyer asking. Okay, sorry, go on.
So he reached out, huge company, a lot of 40 plus people working there. He's a new guy. He knows how to work better. Oh my God, I'm so scared. Anyway, anyway, um, they have their own ways of working, which is super complex. He said that in order to get to a certain document, one guy in the whole company is holding this, and if you're not
Yeah,
able to reach him, you're not going to
yeah,
get that document, and you're going to wait probably for 2 days to get the document.
yeah, yeah.
Old,
That's
yeah,
that's super common. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hmm.
old business, old company, one guy who worked and knows how to work better is reaching out. So there are people that are looking for solutions that we are building. And then, even if we are only thinking about B2C, most of the projects you can kind of clone into B2B.
Hmm.
So I fully agree what Lucas is saying. Like,
That's a
we can.
good. That's a good one. That's a good one. So, what about you make the product, and then at some point you clone it? Do you keep the same name even, or
Mm,
when you say clone, do you essentially take the same product, change the wording, change the landing page, change the name, and the obviously different types of what you call it, certifications and so on,
mm.
or do you mean within the same product you kind of have a B2B landing page or something like that?
Uh, Cloning, like totally focusing on B2B, because you like I feel like,
A new name?
I mean, last time when we tried to bring the new name, it took us an hour. I wouldn't spend time on the new name. Like, you can use.
No, but that's what I mean. Like, do you leverage the branding that you have? Because that might be an issue if people have heard about you and they don't think of you as B2B, and then all of a sudden you are B2B, you know, it could make sense to completely reinvent yourself and clone the actual software, but all the brand and the messaging around it can be new. I mean, you have to grow it again from scratch, which is
I
gonna
mean,
be
if
a
you would see
pain.
the potential in it, why not?
Huh.
But it could be too much work as well. I wouldn't.
Hmm. You got me thinking there. Yeah. So anyway, but B2B has a lot of advantages. So we have our friend Lucas here that was kind enough to share some of them with us. So here are 8 good reasons for a happier life with B2B SaaS. And he goes on and says, so many untapped $1 million niches where large corporations say it's not worth it for us. So that's a really interesting point, is that for some customers, for some companies in the space, $1 million is just not enough for them to even build a product. But for you as a bootstrapped entrepreneur, that is
Mm.
freaking brilliant. And could you have all that for yourself? Well, maybe if you can find such a niche, then it's definitely worth doing some competitor analysis in the space and see how
Mm.
crowded it is. I don't really believe that they're completely untapped, so there must be, at least a small player or something like that. Like, I don't, at this point, I don't believe there is a niche where there's just nothing exists for a problem.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
anyway,
Then it's
yeah,
not a big of a problem.
yeah, 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 yeah. So I would maybe think of this as there's not as much competition in that $1 million
Mm.
dollar niche, but not that there isn't any. Your competitors think SEO is a government agency. um, yeah, so I guess all of the lessons from indie making will be a huge advantage in the space because no one else is aware of these sort of growth tactics that we use for
Oh, for
B2C
sure.
always. Then customers report bugs while praising your product. Yeah.
Imagine that
Then,
then.
no, I cannot. You can charge four times the B2C
Mm-hmm.
with self service. So you go
Mm.
for 32 a month instead of $8 a month. And that's true because it's not coming out of your own pocket. So it's a lot easier to charge those a month. But I also see in B2C a lot of indie makers are charging those amounts just for AI products specifically. They get pretty expensive, but not all of them. How much was the clue per month?
Um, 12 euros?
Yeah,
I
so
should
you
know
could
this
charge
more.
48.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for the personal pro.
But you know what I've noticed with Clue pricing? Or there is a certain group of people that comes to Clue, signs up and pay annually. So Clue
Hmm.
has 7 days free trial where you can integrate, do whatever you want. But for some reason, certain group of people does it immediately. Can you guess age group of that people?
Um, 40 to 50.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, and that's the next point. You can charge 10x the B2C prices with custom invoices. That's maybe one for you that you're leaving on the table. $960 a year instead of $8 a month. So there's a fair amount of people that wouldn't flinch at this amount if they get also to talk with you. You get accustomed to you probably have some assurances for them because that's what you they don't want you to go away in that year of
Mm.
course and so on, and you could definitely they wouldn't mind paying that after
Oh,
they
for
have
sure.
talked to you. I'm not sure if if that's a part of it though. Do you think in B2B you need to talk more with customers and have some sort of sales, not department, right? Because it's still whatever the version of sales department is for your size.
I mean, they always say that B2B sales cycles are much longer, which is true. There is a certain level of responsibility when you go into companies, especially depending of the product of course. But in our case, it's like you're dealing with someone's data. Um, so it is longer, but then again, you can have 2 to 3 companies and wrap up whatever you've been doing with B2C.
Yeah. Hmm. That makes sense. Last few points. Users are surprised about your fast customer service when you reply in 2 days.
They're
That's nice. I
grateful
have
he
a
meant.
I have a problem with that. I can't when I see a support request, I can't let it be. Like I need to answer within
Mm,
hours, of course, if I'm not, I don't know, flying or something. But
mm.
yeah. All right. Hi CLTV, which I had to Google. Um, it's a
He's not
complicated
joking.
term.
He actually, like, we actually had to see the
Yeah.
formula of this.
Yeah, I just put it there. So it's a metric used in business to estimate the total value a customer brings over the entire duration of their relationship. So I thought that's just LTV, but I guess the C is something with the light. I don't know. They just love these terms. Okay, and finally, users will actually read the documentation, which is a good one. And then also free drawbacks, the niches can be hard to find. So yeah, that's back to my first observation. That
One more
yeah.
interesting thing when moving to B2B, like, you don't care about the user amount. You sign the deal, and then you don't care
Mhm.
what users or, like, what is, I don't know, daily activity of these users. Because once, like, imagine you coming to a company, working in a company, and you are presented a product, that you need to use, the company is using, it's easier for you, whatever. Like you take from your back that responsibility of onboarding or making sure that users are using your product actively or daily because it's
Yeah.
already paid. You don't care.
What does that mean for support?
What does it mean for support? What do you mean? Who is taking care
Like,
of the support from the user in the company?
yeah, exactly. Do you have, you don't talk to users individually then? You talk directly to the company when they
Y-
have a
Yeah.
support
So
or,
you always have
yeah,
one person or two people, depending like who is dealing
yeah.
on onboarding or being an admin of that account and
Yeah,
etc.
exactly. But that's good because instead of
That's
having
excellent.
10 people putting support requests, you have one contact point.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what about tracking then? Because that becomes complicated. How do you know these 10 people are using your app in a certain way? Like the tracking gets skewed as
So
opposed to B2C, right?
so it depends. Like again, it goes back to the main person you have a contact with. Um, Usually, it's mostly about like feature requests or feedback. It goes over from like tracking the users, understanding, or talking. So it's
Mm-hmm.
more about this main guy giving you feedback or requests
Yeah.
than talking with each user or like whatever. I'm telling you, it's
Yeah.
more interesting.
Yeah, it is super interesting to me.
And then
Yeah.
also like moving B2B, I think at least most people have idea that these are like huge big companies, but actually it doesn't have to be. It could be just small teams or departments inside of the company that you can work with.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you can think of, yeah, a lot of the big enterprises will have completely separate departments that are, they have a budget but they're kind of autonomous from the big company more or less, so
Mm,
you might just, yeah, might just deal with that. I've seen that before. Yeah. Okay, last two disadvantages: slow growth but long customer loyalty. That's the big one, I think. Then the churn could be lower based on that,
mm.
and you don't want to build a B2C product never again. That's the fourth.
Okay, we know what Luca's gonna do next year for sure.
Yeah, there is some bias in it. I think it really depends on the B2C product as well, because not all of them maybe require the same amount of support. So think about stuff like ChatGPT. Do you think they do support when it's not working for someone and someone's saying, I put in this chat message and then the response was complete gibberish as it happens? Like that's, there's no expectation of support. The only support is it's down, fix it.
Yeah.
And while it's up, you don't, you know, you don't really have support for prompts or
Mm.
results or anything like that.
Yeah,
We
that's
should
very
try that
true.
someday. Do they even have a support button somewhere?
You have those palms up and down.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, but that's
That
obviously fully automated.
and probably they take a look. Some intern there takes a look at percentages
Yeah,
of correct or
yeah. So yeah, very cool. Any last thoughts on B2C? I think on B2B versus B2C. I think I am slightly convinced that it's good. I'm not 100% sure you should only do that,
mm,
and maybe you should, as you said, I found that very interesting. You should start with B2C, or could start with
mm,
B2C, and then as you get customers, try to convert their workplace into B2B. That sounds like a reasonable path, and then you maybe get customers in B2B and you transition towards there if you find that's better, because then you have both and you can compare them.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think
I'm not
that's
sure if you have more thoughts.
no, I think that's a great approach. I think it's very hard to start building with the idea of only going into B2B because it's very hard to get these companies, it's very hard to get feedback, it's very hard to build the product. Um, it might work if you're coming from the industry that you want to build for. So that's kind of advantages you would have. Otherwise, it's extremely hard. I think building a product with the idea of going into B2B or seeing a potential there is a great way. And then having this attitude that you can push the product at least into these professional hands that could potentially bring it at some point to their teams.
Yeah.
Um,
Awesome.
and
Yeah.
like, yeah,
I'm really I'm positive on this. Overall I think I'm convinced. I think this is something to try. And as I mentioned, it's maybe a way to diversify. So you can diversify in many ways. If one way is to diversify your product, as you said, clone it even to reach the B2B market,
mm,
that could be a pretty interesting way to diversify without putting a huge effort into product development. Because
yeah,
essentially your effort will be in marketing then, but the product will be more or less the same, plus minus the certification stuff, which maybe how much certification do you need to get into B2B?
for us, it was super important to have this SOC 2 because that was like this general thing you need to
That's a
have.
baseline.
Yeah. And then from there, it depends like which companies you're working, what is the market. Um, it can go down like it's very tricky. It's very
Yeah.
there are certain that are the based ones like SOC 2, but then
Yeah.
also like it depends like from the product and what you're building and how much do you need, and
Yeah.
that's also one of the hard things about.
What other features do you absolutely need? Because when I think about it, I think about teams, of course, and having this sort of seat management, right? Do you
Mm,
need some sort of authentication
mm,
thing as well?
yeah, there
Yeah.
is. So you need to like at least you need to have a way to bring teams in. You need to have roles. Um, you need to have like different type of the workspace. There's a lot of things.
Yeah. So there is also a bit of product development that goes into
Oh,
it.
for
But
sure.
hey, there's a market for a B2B boilerplate. So imagine, but think about
It's
it. These
true.
are these are all the same. All of them need roles. All of them need teams. All of them need some sort of enterprise SSO single sign-on
Yes,
something, right? So
yes.
if you nail that and you say, well, start with this, and you could
Build your
per
build your
yeah
B2B SaaS tool in
yeah
5 minutes.
yeah. I also see that very commonly the bigger products they offer these features as an add-on, and I'm not sure if that's ethical or not because sign in with your company login is kind of a security thing as well. So charging for it maybe not the best approach, but I it's super common to see that these sort of things are charged as additional features, so you have a less expensive plan that doesn't have SSO or stuff like that.
Mm,
So do you like charge differently for those? Is it only available on the enterprise plan, or do you
only
offer
on the
them
enterprise.
or only on the enterprise?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's also a way to move personal accounts to enterprise accounts by offering those sorts of features.
You know how like when we thought about moving into companies, I decided to see how many do I actually have people already, let's say with same domain using Clue.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so what I'm trying to say is like I've took a look at the domains I had. If from these domains I have multiple different people, if which teams they are coming from, like what occupation they are, So I wanted
Hmm.
to see actually, are these people coming from the same team or are these people coming from different teams?
Yeah,
So that's the way you could probably potentially see if there's a market for your product,
yeah, yeah. Super nice.
just to
Yeah,
see if there are already people seeing your product like that.
yeah. Really interesting discussion. Really interesting.
Yeah.
Really interesting. Cool. Let's jump into the next thing. So I think one of the most interesting makers that has caught my eye and probably yours and those of the
Mhm.
community is Max Blade. He's the guy who actually created this small GitHub um, how do you call it, commit viewer. It's a physical product where you just see, you know, when you go to GitHub you see your activity, and he made this a physical product, and there are very few physical products in the indie
Exactly.
community. We have Daniel Vasallo who make cutting boards, and then Max making this, and then I think Dagobert, now I'm not for sure, he made some cups, and then that's basically where it ends. Merchandise, some people do t-shirts, but
Yeah.
the only way to make that happen is essentially have a huge audience. But Max is doing this as a main product, and in the latest video Mark Liu was watering his plant and said something like, I wish there was a fitness app that watered the plant, so if you do a workout the plant gets water, something like that. And Max took this and he basically made it in 12 hours somehow.
If
So,
is there a possibility of actually playing?
yeah, there could be. I don't, I don't, I don't have the skill set. It's a
Okay,
skill
okay,
issue,
yeah,
basically.
yeah. Yeah,
It's a skill. I don't know how to do it.
yeah. This is too much already, so I think we can just
Yeah.
watch and explain.
But look at this crazy thing. He basically recorded himself making this 3D shape of the so-called device. It just fast forwarded through this, and he 3D printed it and made made a prototype out of it
Unbelievable.
and stitched it up to some. Oh, wait, there's his kid, and stitched it up with some electronics. I'm not an expert in this,
But you are
and
fully right. I agree, yes.
yeah, and it's done. He said what did he say here? He said he's launching this real soon, and it's freaking fantastic. I really think this guy's gonna get huge. I really
Me
think I
too.
love what Max is doing, and he has this appetite that I haven't seen in a long time, and also the creativity needed to get out of, you know, you don't see these things. Everyone's following the same trends.
Yeah.
So first there's a guy making scheduling up for Twitter, right? Or a girl. Everyone's making Twitter apps. Then there's these animation, text
Mm.
to animation video apps. Everyone's making that. Then there's boilerplates. Everyone's making that. Then it's, and so on and so forth. And essentially, we're in this bubble where you see things that are successful, and everyone else ends up doing the same thing with a different flavor, and not really out of the box. And that's not, there's nothing wrong with that, because your boring products are just fine. It's fine that everyone's doing AI wrappers. It's
Yeah.
fine that everyone's doing these image generation things for portraits or whatnot. There seems to be enough market for everyone. But Max is so completely out of the box with this. It's such a different kind of product, and he has a huge moat because who else can do a water, whatever you call this, fitness track, plant fitness tracker that waters your plants in 12 hours? I mean, damn, this guy's
It's
genius.
brilliant. And somehow he's combining his innovative approach with content as well. So we get to see what he's doing live, like it doesn't require so much time for him to push this, and he's open to everything. Like it's so different. I think I've stumbled on him first time when he built that GitHub thing, and then he said he went to sleep, something happened during the night, he woke up and everyone were talking about it and reacting to it. And then it's just amazing to see that, because usually we talk about, oh, when you're building something you need bunch of followers for this to take off and etc. But somehow people can definitely recognize innovation and quality, and it can happen over the night. So you don't need to wait for a bunch of followers. You just need to have that spark and something that motivates you. And I feel like that when I see his videos, like he's doing this, but in the same time, he's not giving or pushing that I'm not doing that, but he's actually inspiring me to do something about it. He's
Yeah,
brilliant. So lovely to see. Dan,
100% agree. I want to do hardware. I want to
oh
do
no,
hardware.
not that type of the motivation.
One more product to the bucket.
But you have to give me a second, because since we are super, super professional in this, I've noticed that my assistant, actually not myself, my assistant
Your
didn't
personal
plug
assistant.
my laptop.
Yeah.
And I don't want to leave you alone here because that happened multiple times. And just give me a second.
I just want to wrap up on Max. So I really have to give it to the marketing side. There are probably a lot more people that do this in their garage that stitch things together. Very clever people, but an incredibly small percentage of them know how to talk about it the same way that Max does. There is a huge guy on YouTube that makes these engineering contraptions, and he has a full workshop. Think of hundreds of thousands of dollars investment
Mhm.
in industry grade kind of machines that have lasers and whatnot. I don't know if you saw this guy. I forget how the channel's called, but he's doing robots and crazy things and amazing content. And I think there are probably thousands and thousands of people like that that just do it. Maybe they show it to their wives or kids or whatever, and that's the end of it because it's a hobby. I think Max is doing a fantastic job talking about it and turning this into more than a hobby, also a product that he can sell.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he definitely found a great niche to do so. Um, I think there's a lot of his approach is totally different, something that we haven't seen in a while, and he somehow managed to position himself really, really well with these products that he is making and catching, like, Mark Lu and his tweets already establishing followers and kind of like catching that attention and bringing it to himself without like putting, anyone down or
Yeah.
copying, or just like he's really authentic person. That's
Yeah,
the
authentic.
thing.
Yeah, that's the word.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But speaking about Mark Liu, I think his first product that was discovered by Mark, or he was just probably browsing and has also highlighted it. And it's a little bit of his superpower that this authentic, refreshing approach will get you some free press from other makers that I think, like me, kind of noticed that there are trends going and we're all having the same ideas and we're all kind of having the same path, and then this guy comes out of nowhere and does physical products,
Mm.
and you got to appreciate that. You got to want to amplify that and wish Max all the best because he's doing a great job.
Yeah, Max is brilliant. Like we should get him on the show and he should tell us this whole process of hardware so we can do something about it then. At
Absolutely.
least start with socks. Like we can do that.
We should get Max and Lucas to talk about B2B
Oh
as
yeah.
well.
Oh yeah.
All right, next one. You want to read it?
Yes. Stan, I forgot that we had an issue with reading other people's names, and now I feel bad. For the second, I was so over that.
Just do your
Anyway,
best. Just try to imagine that you know all the names in the world. You're the perfect person. You're like ChatGPT for names, basically. You know everything, and just say it without thinking about it.
we all need this type of level of support in our lives. Sarveh. Sarveh? Sarveh.
No, no, no. You lost it. You do it with confidence.
Sarveh. This new AI tool just took Product Hunt by storm. WordWare is a YC company that makes it super easy to create AI agents. Last week, someone went viral with an AI agent made in WordWare that roasts Twitter profiles. Bet there will be a plenty more like this. One to watch.
Yeah,
Um, can you already open for us website from the
wordware.
WordWare?
Do you know what it is? I have no freaking idea what it is, but I haven't seen this much hype for a product in a long while, I have to say. Pretty much equal to, when the Rabbit R1 came out, I think that's kind of the level here. So huge amount of hype. And that turned out to be a scam. But this one, or, well, oops, don't
It's okay, we are
sue
not
me.
live, so this can be edited.
Yeah. Anyway, um, build your AI apps 20 times faster with natural language programming. And he has a switch here. I'm technical or not.
Woohoo!
I love
Wait.
that. That's something I could have done in one of. I actually
Ooh.
have, like, I have the wait, wait.
He can't even remember in which
On
product
yeah,
he
on which I
tested.
have yeah, I have like a toggle that like kind of changes the yeah. Okay. Anyway, I like that. So are we? Let's do the non-technical. No,
Let's do the
wait,
non-technical.
wait. I'm
I just
confused.
wanted to say
Is
this is quite bad user experience because I couldn't figure out if I'm technical when you're
yeah.
switching
What does
the.
technical mean? Oh, yeah. You don't know which is
Yeah, I'm
on.
technical. Okay, you're still technical.
Am I technical now or was I technical before?
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't technical even before, but like just looking at this.
I'm trying to figure out based on the code. Is it
Okay,
checked?
Dan is the technical one in
Wait. Yeah, now
this
it's
family.
checked. Listen. So now it's checked, and that means it is actually on. Can we just do wait? Can we just
Yeah,
do?
just fix it.
Can we
Just
just
fix it.
fix
Yeah.
it? Okay, I fixed it.
Thank
Is
you.
that clear?
Yes.
This was a crash course on checkbox UX brought to you by Sentry.com or Sentry.io. Dan, you messed
Oh
it up.
my God.
Did they like Sentry.io? What happens if you go to Sentry.com?
You see a picture of you and me holding a sentry
Don't go
sign
to
saying,
Sentry.com. Don't go. Don't go. Imagine how expensive that domain is. Can you imagine?
oh, if sentry
Like
went
those
with
guys.
.io.
Okay, let's focus on this for a second. Keep the product because this is very interesting. So imagine, I don't know what these guys do. Business. They do business, okay? Listen,
Logical.
they could close down their business and just know that they're sitting on a domain worth millions and millions of
Oh,
dollars. Like it doesn't really matter what they do. I think this domain is their biggest. Okay, they do something expensive. Yeah,
oh, it's a
sidetrack. But don't
hardware.
go here. Go into Sentry.io and fix the bugs in your code. Your code is full of bugs. What are you waiting for? Just fix them. Okay.
Brilliant. And we didn't practice this at all. It comes so
I
natural at this point talking about sentry.
I'm dreaming about Sentry every day. Let's understand what this is because I
Yeah.
don't. So build your A apps 20 times faster with natural language programming.
Time
WordWare
out.
enables.
Time out.
Yeah,
Time out. I'm so sorry to interrupt you. I am technical now.
but you don't want to be.
No, I just want to know. This is for technical people.
Yeah, it's green. It's
Okay.
technical. Yeah.
Okay.
WordWare enables anyone to develop, iterate, and deploy useful AI agents. Okay.
Again, boilerplate.
I don't think so. I think this is hosted. Like, but I don't know. This is 4,200
It
product
went
hunt
crazy. It was
upvotes.
crazy yesterday. The CEO of Product Hunt actually posted a picture with the guy.
Yeah. I haven't seen this in my life. This must be by far the most updates, but the most upvotes. Well, we have
4,000.
stats. We have stats, right? I've seen 2,000, 2,500 that you see sometimes, but this one, yeah, I mean, it's just
4,000.
yeah. Yeah,
How
they
many
don't have the
comments?
most comments. They don't
Oh,
have the
but
most
not bunch
comments.
of comments though.
No. Comment wise, it's not there. So anyway, I still let's see what this is.
Hmm.
Try word apps built by our community. Trial the models for a single question. Runs GPT, Turbo, blah blah blah. To assess which is the best question. You know.
Personal
Okay,
website
this is more
creation.
interesting. Personal website
Yes.
creation. These two, I don't think these are the best examples, but maybe I'm not in the target group. It doesn't really tell me this is amazing, but perhaps they're targeting B2B, huh? Okay, next one. Personal website creation. I can understand this. This app does a cool thing. Researches a person, generates an image based on the research, composes a poem, reads the poem, and using 11 labs, like a static site generation, creates a site. Um,
Wait, what? Personal website creation researches the person, generates an image.
I guess we could try it.
Try it. I
Sandra,
love when you spell my
how do you
last name correct.
yeah, but how do you say it?
Jaic.
Right, yeah, I knew that. Okay, CMO at clue.so. That's
Yeah,
it.
put that link in. Um, what that all? Come on, co-host at.
That's it. Is that all I do?
Come on, LBS.
Okay, that's enough to get an idea. Uh, what happened here? Research. Oh, this was fast. Was this AI
This was
generated?
very fast.
This I instantly got the response.
It includes person YouTube, Twitter, Substack, GitHub, LinkedIn, and other
A
sources.
medium. Oh, this is the prompt. Okay, got it. So it just shows you sort of the internal way this runs. Okay, and this is the AI response, org experience. Yeah,
lb.club, no
this.
further information found.
Did I type it wrong or what?
Probably. No, we are
No.
there. Come on, people.
So it's not live. It probably has some older data. It cannot actually go to the website. And also it said that you personally search and understand data across your cloud apps, which I believe would be a lot of work for you, but you do say you're very busy.
I am. Yeah.
Yeah. How does Clue actually work when there's someone searches? Is it you that
Yeah.
personally go on Google Drive? Yeah.
Yeah. So every time, just remember it's actually me searching for the answers.
Got it. Yeah. It found me. It found me as a
That was good.
co-host. That's cool. You have a product hunt social presence.
But zero online presence when it comes to Twitter, LinkedIn, GitHub.
Yeah. Why do you think is that? Did I spell the name? No, I spelled it correctly.
Put
Huh.
D without J.
Okay. Let's go back.
Yeah.
I cannot go back.
Because I've noticed that with my last name, if you are searching with J, then you're not going to find me much. But if you're doing it with just D,
Listen, there is a refresh, but I'm afraid to press it. Yeah, that was that one.
yeah,
That could be just saying try again or so. Okay. Uh, with
lose J.
uh
Yeah, like this.
okay.
This is so much better than Googling yourself.
All right, all right. It said it didn't work. This one didn't work at all.
I've been
Okay.
in a online publicly thingy for a year now. Come on.
Yeah, it didn't work. It's not amazing. Okay, but I
Hmm.
wanted to see your personal site. How do we stop this? Is there a stop? There is no stop.
But what is
How to see
generating
an
now?
image? Well, I don't know. You know what? Let me just boop and we run it again. No
Yeah,
problem. Sandra and then CMO
emo
at Clue.
clue.
I'll just put just because people are dropping out already. I'll just put co-host at Morning Maker Show. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay. Whoop. And let's see. Maybe it finds LinkedIn now.
yeah.
What do you think? It says it does online search. This is a completely different
This
response
is a
now. Huh?
different something found now.
Sandra has successfully launched her SaaS product Clue on Product Hunt. Hey,
This is
this
not
is
bad.
completely different. Yeah. Seasoned marketer. Hey, no education. I'm sorry. Homeschooled.
Homeschool.
You have two articles, How to Launch on Product Hunt on the Code and Conquer podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I think you've wrote a few more
What's the
articles
deal
than
with the
that.
product
Hey, hey,
hunt?
hey,
Like,
hey, hey.
whoa,
It got you
nice.
this time. It got you this time. And apparently you're the owner of producthunt.com. Nice work. Okay, okay. No quotes. Good. Haven't we been through this already? Okay, wait a second. Do a fresh search. Make sure the search is accurate. Okay, okay. So we're going through prompts, and the way the
Mm-hmm.
prompt is made is it takes the first one and then it does another search where you're not inspired by the research above. So maybe
That's a good
to
prompt. Yeah.
that's a good prompt, yeah. Yeah, and it found a few more articles. It found your YouTube. That's a regrettable decision. And your LinkedIn. I
But
think
that's
on
the correct
YouTube
way to
we can
spell my
see
last name.
correct, yeah, with the
Yeah.
how do you call this D? It's a very nice D. It's a
Yeah.
nice brand.
But it's very
Yeah.
hard when you are at the airport and they can't find it on their keyboard and then you miss your flight. This actually happened.
Yeah, I bet it did. Okay. Marketing is her first and only love is a quote you have.
This is so sad. Come on. Who is the founder of this company? I have other
Yeah.
things in my life.
And you're a member of the Morning Maker Show community, the best community in the world, by the way.
Join us, please.
And you're very dedicated, and my God, you are dedicated and passionate about marketing, and you're actively sharing experiences. This is getting better. Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Next
yeah.
prompt is from the above, pick elements only related to work experience, chronological work order. Yeah. Based on the content above, write three jokes that can make Sandra laugh.
Okay.
Okay. Why did the marketer break up with the calendar? She felt he was all dates and no engagement.
Ha.
Generate two images. Let's, it did generate two images, but we can't see them. Oh yeah, we can down here. Okay, let's see. That looks like you. That's the problem with some of these AI. Just because you can do some of these things doesn't mean you should.
Oh my God, that should be on a t-shirt.
Write a
Oh
short
my God, Dan.
poem. Sandra's seasoned marketer. She's also co-host. Okay, this repeats. Okay, where is the website? Here's the poem. It's a good poem. So here's to Sandra with a cheer to her achievements far and near. And you can read the poem. Okay, okay, okay.
this.
So this is pretty cool. There's text to voice, text to speech going on reading the poem. Sounds expensive, but fine. Create a website, act as HTML coder, write the website. Design, layout, typography, background, shapes. Okay, pretty thorough prompt. Pretty thorough prompt on the content as well. The last prompt, you worked really hard. Write in the second person as addressing the reader as you. Okay.
This is my communication with ChatGPT as well.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
did this very well.
Okay, footer, and then the website HTML, and then it renders the code of the website. I want to see if you actually get a link at the end. You
Yeah,
do?
that would be crazy.
Let's see it. Yeah, so you got a pretty basic HTML website.
That's
And
not me.
yeah, this is why. Have you heard that Apple delayed their Apple Intelligence release?
Really?
Yeah, and I really think that a company like Apple, they cannot have this kind of stuff. This is
No.
like straight up startup,
Mm-hmm.
VC funded type where yeah, they're just a startup, they could do the blunder. But if Apple will do this, you ask to do a AI emoji of me and it comes up with a goat picture or something, they're done. Like their stock goes sliding down. So
Absolutely.
anyway, okay, cool. And this is what they say. Exact. I
Exactly.
didn't read this. I didn't read this. I swear. But the clicking doesn't work. We're just a startup, so this can fail, of course. Um, very cool. There's obviously novelty to it, and you have to ask yourself if this is the right example for it. I think in the world of generating AI wrappers for various small tasks, this makes a lot of sense. I don't think we're there yet with creating a website. And there are some things that can create parts of it. So there's V0 that can create the UI for it. Have you
Mm,
seen that? Have you tried that?
I haven't tried.
Okay, so V0, you can tell it generate a piece of UI. So generate, we can actually see this, a money management app. And V0 will create a dashboard for you with some sort of money
Mm,
thing. And you can get the code for it. That's one thing. And then for content, we have tons of apps for writing copy, and some of them are quite successful. I really don't think their perplexity maybe can do a good job, but they're not
mm,
there in the sense of I read this and I don't detect that it was written by AI. They have specific words, so then you need to always tweak your prompts and so on. So it might get there in the future, but you can build anything with this, it seems. You can build a weather report. You can maybe use AI is very good at summarizing things, at doing, you can make a app that goes on a YouTube video and summarizes the transcript or gets perhaps the time codes of the YouTube app.
and
This
then sell it
seems,
to B2B.
yeah, exactly. Blog post generator. Yeah, I know Dan Kulkov from the community has
Mm,
launched an app that does this. Definitely, you can make an app that does money, that does make money from it. It could be a competitor to Bubble, maybe. I don't know if you know
mm.
Bubble. Have you seen that? Pff, Bubble.io. I'm in the dark here. Yeah. So no code app
Yeah, yeah,
builder
yeah. Yeah, of course.
type thing. Yeah. Where you drag and drop sections and you can build entire applications.
Yeah.
Something like
I've
that.
actually tried Bubble once, but it didn't quite work for me for some reason.
Yeah. I think so. What is the selling point? I think this is what they're trying to communicate here, that it combines the best aspects of software with the power of natural language. I think that doesn't, is it that much different than ChatGPT then?
I just wanted to ask that.
When you read that, I mean, all of these use the power of natural language. So Claude 3.5 Sonnet, for example, does that very well. I don't know if you've tried it, but it generates the prompt for you. Should we just have a look, because this is
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
awesome. Let
absolutely,
me.
absolutely.
Have you tried Claude at all, or
No,
just ChatGPT? No.
I'm a
Okay.
ChatGPT girl.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. I just need to sign in the background. But do you want to like look at these things, because these seem to be particularly interesting for, like, can you figure out what type of customer they're looking for based on
Can you
this?
go at the beginning and s- choose non-technical person? I just want
Uh
to
huh.
check. Yeah. So it says, we believe that as a domain expert, whether you are a lawyer, marketer, or a medical doctor, you should be involved in the process. Are you tired of fighting for engineering resources, frustrated with slow feedback loop, blah, 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 blah. I think this is much better selling point than to technical people,
Mm-hmm.
because technical people will ask the same questions that you just did. So bringing this technology to a lawyer or a marketer or the medical doctor, I think it's much better and better selling point than to a technical person, because you guys probably know better what to use, how to use, and what is actually happening. So I like
Yep.
the idea of bringing AI to just normal people. And we talked
Yeah.
about this.
It's the promise of. So I think for technical people, that's a bit funny now that you have the is technical or not toggle, because I think for technical people, it's similar to what Claude could do, for example. But for non-technical people, this is a superpower, because all of a
Yeah.
sudden you can maybe make software. But look at this. So we have Claude. Let's do the same thing, huh?
Let's do the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do the same thing. So I will do. So they have a prompt generator. So I
Hmm.
will do this. Generate a beautifully looking website, personal website
Hmm.
for Sandra. How do you say?
DJ. Yeah. DJ. Yeah.
Sandra DJ, um, the CMO of Clue.so and co-host of Morning. My keyboard is probably smashing your brain now, but
It's
Lara will
yeah.
fix this in post. Yeah, I'm sorry. I have a very loud keyboard today. So look at this. It made a pretty nice prompt and detailed all the code and so on, and even introduced like some sort of um, parameters essentially, where I can put some info on Sandra. So it thought, well, maybe I should get the info from somewhere, and then I can put some other requirements in here.
Mm.
Let's just try it without. Let's just try it.
Run.
Can
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
run it without? No, it asks me, okay, some Sandra info. I'll just put the same thing.
Put the
The
same so
CMO of
it's spaced.
Clue. Yeah, I don't have that much. And the website requirements should be fresh and light with pink tones. Okay.
Thank you.
And it's getting the same markdown, but the same HTML thing, but I'm pretty sure. Let's see what it's gonna do. But I'm pretty sure the other one was better because we didn't give it much information. So the prompt didn't contain any information about you. So it should also read the web instead of
Mm.
instead of taking this. But it took this and it made it a website just for you. So I've basically failed at this pretty badly. Um, I think with some back and forth, I could probably get to the same thing. But this shows that it's not too bad to use wordware if you don't know what you're doing, as I didn't here.
Mm.
You can probably get up and running faster, but I think Claude in the end will get you to a better result if you find out how to get it to read the web and to essentially fill in these requirements for you. So I pretty much messed up the prompt from the get-go here. So cool product. Would you use this to build something?
I mean, it's very hard to say now. I'm too used to ChatGPT and I know already how to get to the things I need. But I think there is a potential. Oh,
Yeah,
there is Elias.
I know, Elias.
Elias is a.
Let me ask you again. Would you use this to build something?
Oh, come on. $5
Speaking
in free
about
credit every
B2C,
month.
B2C prices, huh?
Talk to me. Paramount includes 3 seats for $899.
What does this mean? 1.3 times model usage costs? Wait a second. Does that mean that you also pay for it's a bring your own key type system?
Oh, probably. Because it makes no sense otherwise,
So it's a lot more than 69, depending on
but
what
depending on
you
what
do.
you're probably building, yeah.
That's pricey. I have to go to BuildShip. You know
I
BuildShip?
was thinking about them the whole time we were talking about it.
I actually think this is I mean, it's early. They just launched, all
Mm.
fine, but I think this is a more mature version of it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
They're already launching V2, and this one works the same way. You have a visual editor where you can put nodes around. You can do a little bit of programming. Even you can connect it to various APIs. And honestly, there's a huge overlap between, but I'm pretty sure BuildShip doesn't charge you for the model. And they also have these types of
Mm-hmm.
examples. So make an assistant for a document, chat with Google Sheets, Vision, similar stuff, but also more technical. Search through a vector database, I mean, or make a chatbot for WhatsApp. Pretty cool examples. Let's check their pricing so I'm not saying something wrong here. Well, this is a lot nicer. So they charge per execution hours, and this is so they don't charge you for the model, but they charge you for the complexity of your prompts essentially. So no limit, you even get storage, and you get, I know these people even host your app for
Yep.
25 bucks a month. It's a hard sell. It's a hard sell for me. Unless BuildShip requires you to be a lot more technical and they broke the barrier. So will a lawyer be able to go on BuildShip and do something? Probably not right now, maybe in the V2, but a lawyer will be able to go on WordWare and build something from scratch. I think that's the difference here. Is that worth $34 extra plus the model usage? Need to be pretty confident in your idea, or
Pretty sure, yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
But
Why do you think this
4,000
got
upvotes.
why do you think this got hyped so much?
YC company, YC company, there is
Were
a
they around
story.
were they around for a long time or what?
I don't think so. I saw a few tweets, people mentioning that they've known founder for about year talking about this. So But these are crazy companies that he's showing.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I think. How do you get these companies? And if you've just
Uber.
launched,
And what is the use case? How are these people using
Sandra,
it?
I'm sorry, I don't understand this. Like, good job for getting this. It's freaking fantastic. 9 out of 10 times, it's not the product that matters anyway, it's your marketing and your channels. So great that you've managed to reach these companies and get them to build something. I'm probably not in the target group, and that's why I don't get it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Do you get it?
I mean, I understand what the capabilities of the product. It's okay. It's just that I don't get the hype. You can probably do these things, especially if you're technical. How much do you need this product?
Yeah,
I mean, I
you
don't.
don't.
That's why I said I wish if I could see like the use cases from these
I
companies.
think if you're more technical, build ship is so much more compelling.
Mm,
To be honest, build ship is so much more powerful, and it doesn't expose the complexity, but it has the concept of storage or a database. Whereas with this one, you get an HTML file, and then what? What do I do with this file? Where do I put my website? So BuildShip is also hosting the thing, which is, it's
on
not
a
even
different
about being
level, yeah.
technical or not. Yeah, but it's about, does this save me time, or does it, or do I think it saves me time, but then in the end I cannot really complete the task because it's early, and I cannot.
Exactly. I wanted to ask you that, like, if let's say a lawyer comes here and he builds something of his own, at least he gets what he needs. What is the next step for him?
Yeah, how do you get this online? How do you buy a domain and all of that stuff? So we're not there yet, but I see the idea. Imagine this though. Imagine that you do the same prompt, and at the end you can choose between some names. They also get you a domain, and they also host this for you, and you get a link at the
Mm,
end, as you did here, but that link is the deployed version of it. And you can also iterate on it and say, okay, I have this thing deployed. Please change this section and do this and do that and continue to work on it. Because my problem with this is, and I know it's the same in Shipixon, you have a starting point, and then you need to become technical to edit that HTML because the prompt ran, it's over, you have your output, you have your link, and now all of a sudden you're out of your comfort zone. You cannot modify this anymore. And that's fine for technical products, but they specifically have a toggle saying that I'm not technical here. So
mm.
what do you do then? Then your use case is a lot more narrow. Then your use case is question and answer type of thing where you don't store this thing and you don't have users, accounts, and so on. And then my question would be, how do you monetize it? Do they have some sort of payment integration and so on and so forth? So it's a lot of work to get there, and I'm actually not sure if I would invest all this development time in building this platform when AI itself and the models will likely change in the next few years to a degree where it might make it redundant. Well, so what if ChatGPT could do that instead? You're going to have a pretty big problem with it because it's going to be hard to convince people that are already on ChatGPT, they have an account, to also sign up for your thing. Why is it better? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a
But
tricky
from the
market,
marketing
but
perspective, great hype,
yeah,
great
fantastic
freaking hype.
work.
Yeah.
They've, as I said, I mean, the product is what it is. What matters is the customers and
Mm-hmm.
getting paying customers, and they clearly did that. They have some big companies
Mm.
that use them, so I have to give,
Yeah.
you know,
We'll
my
definitely
hats off to
follow
that.
and see like what's going to happen and where the product will go. But as you
Yeah,
said, there needs to be a next step of it. Like there
yeah,
needs to be, and you can't even compare it with Shipixen because at Shipixen you get that next step. You have
yep.
something already.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And
So
perhaps there's not as much as a broad appeal, and it's taking one use case, because one thing is to make your website or your app and to monetize it, but perhaps what they have in mind is these more smaller black box kind of, I wouldn't even call them apps, but yeah, AI wrappers of sorts, where you can write a very good prompt and you can essentially send this to a customer that is, if you're a lawyer, maybe you make this as an add-on to your lawyer business and you include it as a, as a free thing, but I actually don't know how you would secure it. And by the way, showing the actual prompt that runs is not a great idea. Maybe this was just for the example, but the prompt is the whole thing in this case, right? That's what you
exactly.
work on. So if you clearly see what prompt they used, there's
No
nothing
problem. Let
stopping
me
you.
copy that.
Yeah, let me copy that, put it in Perplexity, and then all of a sudden I can run my own version of that. So
Yeah.
I guess that was just an example, so you see how it works behind the scenes. So Sarah, you want to take one more thing, and then we're off to the weekend.
I have to take one more thing because this is the best thing I've seen. I love this. Dan, this got me so excited. First of all, I love Daniel. He was such an inspiration on the show, but he took this further and I got a bunch of ideas just from seeing this. Anyway, so Daniel said, I'm the hottest new product on Gumroad, and I fully agree with him.
Yeah, 100%. But
This is the best thing ever.
he is actually in my mailbox as well. So do you know, like, can we go on Gumroad and see if this is still true? Let's see, Gumroad.com recommended. Oh yeah, there's.
There it
Wait,
is.
this is just recommended. This is just recommended. Staff picks. Wait. How do you see hot stuff? Where do you see hot? Well, obviously I can't find it. Let me just go and see
Just go.
right here. Lifetime consultations.
Come
Okay.
on. Why would someone miss this? Should we buy
Listen,
this?
listen, Sandra. Anytime you need help, just book a Zoom call with me.
Come
There are no
on.
limits on how often or how many times we can chat. I want you to feel like you have me on speed dial for any problem I can help with.
Oh, this is absolutely crazy. Can we buy this?
For
Can we use
200
all
and
of the budget we have for Daniel?
2.5 grand, and you have Daniel on speed dial telling you about marketing, audience building, becoming self employed, setting up your business, courses, software, community building, and more.
What more
And
do you
this is
need?
a lifetime. This is a lifetime price.
Forever and
What
ever?
about this? What about this? So when you read this and you think, yeah, how many of these could he sell in a day? What did you
Boy, did
think?
he send it. Oh,
So Daniel sold $150,000 worth of these in 24 hours. Let's just can we let that sink in?
I need water.
150K in 24 hours. Let me do the
How many,
math. I mean,
like, how many people are we talking about?
there are some taxes involved, so it's hard to get an estimate, but we could just do it this way. 60 people. Okay?
60 people.
60 people. If they all want 1 hour of Daniel's time in the next day,
You don't have enough time for that.
you need the next 3 days and skip on some sleep to talk with them.
Exactly.
So that
Daniel
is
is
the
just brilliant. I
thing.
love it.
That is the thing. But in reality, how many of these people will actually book the 1 hour right now? And I think how many people would book it next week as well. Maybe they book it right now. They talk to Daniel, they get their advice, and then they get to work, and then maybe they need it again in a few weeks. Hard to say.
I think
And
people are quite respectful when it comes to that.
exactly, that's the
Yeah.
other thing. So this is a if this is a half-hour talk, imagine it's a half-hour talk. You pay him two and a half grand for half an hour, and you can have five of those a month, which is quite generous.
Hmm.
And from his perspective, this is we talked about consulting and freelancing in the last episode. From this perspective, this is $500 for half an hour or $1,000 per hour. It's pretty good return on
Pretty good
investment.
deal.
That's
Hmm.
a solid gig, and he's gonna fill up his entire month with this pretty much. It's genius.
It's
It's
brilliant.
genius.
When I
Yeah,
saw this, I was like, what? What? It was so good.
he's gonna have a tough week. That's for sure. He's gonna
It's
have an,
totally fine. It's totally fine. I think
you
also,
know,
like, as I said, people are respectful with time. I think, like, okay,
yeah,
30 minutes once a week, every
yeah.
month, blah, blah, blah.
I'll be happy to have a hard time for a week if I were to make 150K, to be honest. Wouldn't you be happy with
Oh,
one
then
busy week?
knowing that 100,000 euros will land on my account, trust me, I don't
Yeah,
mind.
yeah, yeah. But of course, this is not it. So, this is, of course, being a bit naive because this is a lifetime thing. So, the
Forever.
CLTV of a customer, depending on the customer, might actually not be that great, but it also averages out. So some people will maybe not need the advice anymore. Maybe they just move on with their life. That
But no one is freaking churning.
no one is churning with this business model. I tell you that.
That's one lesson I've learned with Daniel, and it's the best thing.
Yeah,
Lifetime deal, you have no
yeah.
issue like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Absolutely. What about the shift in so I think this is not for everyone for a couple of reasons. One is the constant shift in focus and the fact that this takes a lot of energy because you have to put yourself in a completely new scenario and try to help that person. And your first call might be marketing, second one might be AWS server setup,
Mm.
a third call could be how do I become self-employed, and that's your day. I think a lot of people would not be able to handle this. I personally wouldn't. It's just I want some focus.
But during the chat we had with Daniel, like at least I could see that he is extremely passionate about multiple different things, and he said himself that he loves to speak, and then he loves to also give advices and work with people. So this, at least for me, quite fit for him.
Yeah,
And he mentioned already that he's been building cohorts and working with people. So
like a glove. Yeah, like a glove.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It fits very well for his personality. When we have him on the show, you could see how much passion it goes into
Mm.
talking and teaching essentially us and giving his advice based on the experience he had so far. So it's definitely for him, but it also definitely who would pay for let's take your average person that starts and makes maybe some sort of business and they're taking off, who would pay this much to have a permanent subscription for your advice? You need to have a name, you need to have a huge audience, you need to
Mm.
this was built over many years of success and
Oh, for
all
sure.
of that. So it's really it's incredible mode. There's just a handful of people that could do this. There's Levels IO that could do this. I don't know. Maybe if I was Levels IO, I would look at this and think, wow,
I
I
know
could
what
do
to
this and
do.
charge triple. He could charge triple, I think, and he would still sell.
Oh, for sure. But I don't
Yeah.
think it fits his personality, though. for some reason.
No, it does no, because he doesn't like meetings. So
Yeah,
that's a personal thing. But I think maybe Mark, Mark,
Mark would be
Mark
great.
Louvion, he's very to talk and has a lot of advice and friendly. I don't know if he would like to do this because he likes to build things.
Mm,
He actually likes to get down and build an app and ship it. And this will keep you from doing that. But besides that, he has all the right ingredients
yeah,
to do
for
it for
sure.
sure.
And maybe with certain limitations, like, I don't know, 10 people, 45 minutes per person, he would be able to do so, but
Yeah.
he has the right things. Yeah,
Yeah, so they, and of course it's not, but maybe it's not their personality, it's not their way of doing things. So yeah, I don't see them. I really don't see them doing it. But for Daniel, it just fits perfectly. It's
perfect.
just
It's
mind blowing with his
and I think
whole.
it's such a great opportunity because like we have these, I don't know, when you're building something and then it starts to become like a company and you're making money and all of these fun things, you really need advisor. And advisors sometimes, at least in startup world, are quite expensive and you need to give them something. Um, but this makes so much sense, at least in
Yeah,
the community. Like if you have extra cash, spend it on Daniel.
I'm just thinking. Yeah, spend it on Daniel for sure. It might be a bargain if you even if you just use the advice for a month, but it's lifetime, which just
It's
makes me think
crazy.
that you know what's the good part about that is that you can actually follow along on your journey and he will have the background. So the more of these calls you have with him, the more value you'll get back because he's aware of what you've tried and what
Mm.
you've been through. So I can see this being a huge value. I really wonder in 1 year how this will scale. Like how many of these calls will Daniel get a day? Will he spread them throughout the week, or will he have like 2 days where he just does these calls and the other weeks are for something else?
Also, whoever is building a note taker app or a tool, they need to sponsor Daniel as soon as possible because this is a perfect and brilliant opportunity to do so. Like, imagine that combo.
Yeah, woodpecker. Sandra, do you know this?
Company? No. Do you?
Do you know this company that's been acquired by Stripe? They've recently posted
Lemon squeezy. I haven't
lemon
heard
squeezy.
about
Sounds
that.
familiar. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
they recently posted this.
You and your
It's
side projects.
yeah.
Like, what? What?
So this is I feel called out, but for those that are just listening, it's a child with six apples, one in the hand, and each apple has a bite, and five of them are in a corner somewhere. And I really feel like this is an attack on me personally.
I agree with you,
And
Dan. They
and
had
I
you
was
on
just
mind.
yeah, and I was just talking about diversifying stuff, and now I see this, and I'm like, maybe I should just shut up. Now speaking
Lemon
while
squeezy
doing a
being cool
podcast.
now.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah. Anyway, this touches on an important subject: the elephant in the room. LB.club. Look at this brilliant marketing. Find the right people to do marketing for you. A pack of 40 plus curated newsletters to kickstart your launch and help you make sales without lifting a finger.
It makes so much sense.
Yeah. Do you know what
Who is the
happens if I
founder?
press on pre-order?
What?
Nothing. You get a hashtag in here. Nothing.
Ugh, such a amateur.
So I really think we've messed this up. I
Tell
really
me
think
more.
we shouldn't have launched this without actually having a buy link. This was a huge mistake. A huge mistake.
But do you remember I told you, Dan, let's put the link. But then we also
You
said we don't know the right
yeah.
newsletters. We couldn't.
Yeah, so we posted about this. A lot of people said, "Hey, I would maybe buy for this," and so on. And we maybe think this is validated, but how do you validate a product? Tell me, what is the only way to actually
You
validate a
get a
product?
lemon squeezy email.
Exactly,
Sorry, Stripe. I
exactly.
get confused. Sorry.
Uh, I they keep they keep it. Okay, so I have a proposal for you. We don't have a lot of time. I want to
Mhm.
keep building this, to be honest, but let's just go to Lemon Squeezy and let's create this payment link. What do you think?
Yes, I agree with you. LB
How do we call this? LB newsletter pack.
newsletter pack. Yeah.
Okay, let's show people how easy it is to actually set this up in Lemon Squeezy. So we have some description on it. I'll just steal it from the website, to be honest,
Mm-hmm.
because it's pretty good. Keep it short, keep it simple. Let's make sure it is a pre-order. Don't want to trick any customers. Single payment of how much? Give me a number and then I'll look at this and I'll.
Actually, funny thing. Yesterday, the guy who
No
wrote a
funny
new
thing, give me a
um,
number.
79.
Tell me the funny thing. That was not polite. I'm sorry.
Oh, I would tell you anyway. I was just like thinking you wouldn't be able to stop me. Submit
Okay, you're
yourself.
unstoppable.
Why is this so funny when I read submit yourself? That's not a good copy.
79.99. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Media. I will just do
Take a
a
picture.
screenshot of the of the website.
Ah, do you like the name? Did you
Wait,
get used to the name now? LB?
I'm warming up to the name. I'm warming up to the name. I have to say, it's not too bad. It's not the best, but it's not too bad.
Mm.
Yeah. What have you? Do you have any new thoughts on the name?
No, I love the name. I have new thoughts about how we're gonna do that. I think we can push the link now, but at some point we will have to put that filter AI, dev, marketing. And
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be like a filter, but it could be like just different links so we know
Yeah.
which one is
Absolutely.
perfect. But
Yeah.
I wanted to say yesterday, I actually, the guy who wrote that referral I got from Passog, the guy who wrote Medium article, he also has a package on his own site. And yesterday I actually bought it for Clue.
Ooh.
So yeah, so I was thinking, what a nice funnel he got me in. I saw immediately great results, and I was like, I want this more. So I bought it.
So he hooked you in with one
He
very
hooked me
good.
in. Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Ooh.
was so confident in himself that he didn't
Yeah.
even reach out to me to say that, hey, I wrote this article about Clue. It was
Yeah.
me
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
actually finding
Yeah.
out. And
Oh, that's
imagine how
clever.
perfect targeting then that was.
Yeah. 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 That's good. That's
I'm the
good. Okay.
person
Okay.
who
Okay.
followed the metrics. I'm the person who does the marketing. I know like where the people are coming from. He hooked me up. It was like magic.
Yeah. You have the marketing strategy settled pretty much. That's what I'm hearing, right?
Exactly.
So 79.99. Just to go through this, actually, I wanted to see if there's more to do. I put the picture, but there's nothing else to do. Literally, like this is it. One thing we could do is when we actually sell this, we can put the file in here, and this is awesome.
Mm,
If you're selling info products, you can literally drop a PDF. This is how we did the Small Opinions Handbook.
mm,
You put a PDF in here and people can access it. And if you update it, they will just go in their account and they could get the new version as well. So that could be
mm.
one way we do it. The other way to
Absolutely.
do it would be in the confirmation model here, where we say thank you, and also in the mail to give them a link to Notion. So
Mm,
you could put a link here and say, get newsletters, whatever you want to call it. But obviously we don't have that yet. It's a pre-order. it's gotta be pretty easy to add it. Like lemon squeezy is awesome for these types of products
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
you
Super
don't
simple.
need to like do API keys integrations or nothing like that. So I publish it. We got it here. There is a share button, and then there's some customization we can do.
This looks cool, by the way.
But you didn't know. Oh my god.
I mean, I saw,
So
but
yeah,
like now I'm looking at it.
we can turn on. Yeah, we can turn on and off different things. But I think yeah, the default's probably fine. So if I go to it, it looks pretty straightforward. I think we're gonna get back and add some sort of
Mm,
more marketing focused thing in here, but that is about it. So we have the payment link. Now I can just
copy
copy it and put it in the code. So let
and
me
ship
just
extend. Yes.
figure out. Yeah, let me just figure out how do I share that. Give me a second. But in the meantime, can you tell me what is the strategy or the idea to get these newsletters? Like how we're gonna have to spend a lot of time digging through newsletters,
Yeah.
categorizing them, and
Yeah.
seeing the impact and getting to this list. What are your thoughts on that? Like, how do we?
First of all, I have some great already just seeing Clue and
Mm-hmm,
looking at the list, like where Clue was already published and what I have from my own data. I think what's going to be difficult is going out of um, AI dev world. And maybe even we don't have to go out of that. Just having this niche of AI
mm-hmm,
dev tools would be much, much easier because we already know some of them.
mm-hmm,
But you asked me how difficult it's going to be to get people who write these newsletter.
mm-hmm.
And I don't think
No,
it would be
not people, but the newsletters, or the yeah, it doesn't have to be people, just the actual 40
the
newsletters. Yeah, yeah,
qualities
yeah,
of the
yeah.
newsletter.
Exactly, exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna start from what I currently have from Clue and what I'm positive that worked, like this person,
Mm-hmm,
um, and then try to find more information. I'm gonna do the same thing which Philippe did. He actually talked with multiple different makers and founders to figure out
mm-hmm,
what was the best referral they
mm-hmm,
had.
mm-hmm.
Um, yeah,
That's about it.
I think
So,
that's the best
so
when
what's
we
left
have
for
an
us?
actual data.
Yeah, what's left for us is to get the data,
Mm.
put a preview on the website, or yeah, now
Yeah.
that you've mentioned this marketing strategy, we might like it's very important to hook people, collect their email, right? That's essential. We need to collect their email when they get the free list.
Mm.
And I know what you're gonna say.
I'm gonna mention that pop out, huh?
Pop up, yeah. Full screen, put your email in here.
But it works like a magic.
Yeah, it does. It does. And what else? That
And we
is
can
that the
do that
product?
we can do that across multiple of our products.
Yeah.
Maker Show, Hunted as well.
Okay, okay. So you can actually put the pop out. Hey, are you looking for newsletters to acquire new customers,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so
Because this thing actually works.
yeah, yeah, very
It's
cool.
it was
So
interesting looking at the journey of the users that were coming from this referral and they jumped
mhm,
straight in.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay, okay, yeah, I see it, I see it. Well, I pushed the pre-order link. We can talk about it on X. It's just pushed right now, so it's gonna be there in a
Yay.
minute. And then we can see, do you think, so a lot of people said, I'd pay for this. Do you
Mm.
think that gives us enough to go full blown on the 40? Because I don't think it's enough. What I would do is get the free ones.
Mm.
And that based on pre-orders on with the free one. So a combination of showing the pre-order for 79, you get these free ones right now, and you're gonna get 37 more once we develop the product. If
Mm.
we get 10 sales of those, then it's validated. If we don't, then we don't do the rest of the 37 and we refund everyone.
Yeah, I think that's a good approach in validating if this works or not. But it does work. Like I saw it in Postog myself, and he made me pay yesterday for a bigger package. Like he hooked me up so good.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
then, while we are figuring this out and validating lb.club, I
Mm-hmm.
have a special surprise for you. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
actually wanted to mention this because I felt a little bit bad.
Should I be scared? What's going on?
I don't know, should you be scared or a little bit jealous, whatever. But you are all the time dressed as Sentry. You have a hat, you have a shirt,
On
whatever.
brand. Yeah.
Yes. So Sentry decided. What is the favorite color of Sentry? Tell me.
Purple.
What am I drinking?
Is that the Sentry energy drink?
Yeah, yeah. They just publish it.
It's a new product that they put in their web shop, I suppose. Yeah.
Hmm.
And you see, I love Sentry. So not only that they solve our bugs, but they also solve our addiction to caffeine in
Yeah.
a
Imagine
simple
that
way.
they thought about everything, every single thing of a maker journey.
I hope that Sentry one day will actually send you some merch. They will see this and
I
think we need
know.
to get Sandra
I
something.
cannot get on the show where our sponsor is Sentry and then you
Yeah,
are dressed as Sentry and I
yeah,
only have an
no,
energy drink
no,
with
no,
the
no, you
color.
cannot. You cannot.
Yeah.
So Antonio Tropiano in the chat, he says like the lemon squeezy checkout is so customizable. I just did a basic version of it, but they actually
Mm.
have a place where and it looks better, and you have a place where you can fully customize it, and it goes down to the they have some themes, but you can change color on every button if you want, and then wherever you show this, so on your store, you have full customizations of
Oh yeah.
logos and products. On the checkout itself, it gets super deep. Look at this. You can change everything.
It's
You
really
can
cool
then,
actually.
the coolest part, and that I really appreciate, is the email itself, and you can customize that, and you can actually make it so it has the same look and feel of your brand. And this is like super rare. Even the fact that they send emails and I don't need to pay for it. I think
Mm.
so. I don't know. I hope so. Maybe there's
We
like a
learned
fine
that.
print. Each mail is 1 cent or whatever. But yeah, really awesome customization. And now that Stripe owns Lemon Squeezy, I
What?
assume.
Stripes on and lemon squeezy?
Yeah.
What?
Oh, they could be a sponsor of the show one day.
I mean, we had lemon squeeze as sponsors.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, Antonio added it has a big impact on the conversion, and I absolutely think so as well. Faye Levels IO had a tweet back in the day where he compared the two. It most definitely has an impact on
Mm.
conversion, but you can also overdo it. You can also put so you can do rich text formatting and do like a huge thing on the checkout. You don't want to
Mm.
do that. You want to keep it simple. You want to keep it focused, and also you want to make sure that it's readable and so on. So when you have such a deep customization, you can also mess things up, right? So with
Absolutely.
great power comes great responsibility. But overall, super cool stuff. Super cool stuff.
I'm excited to see where lb.club will go, actually. Let's.
Yeah, I'm positive on it.
Mhm.
I hope we're gonna validate it. So it's already been deployed while we're talking about lemon squeezy thing. So now if you press pre-order, boom, you get sent here, and
Bye bye.
we are ready to pay. We could do some marketing around it. Maybe next time, you know what? We need to cut it pretty soon. But what I would want to do is have a good pre-order discount
Mm.
and limit
Images.
the pre-orders to whatever we want to validate. So say 10, the first 10 get a pretty good discount,
Mm.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
For next time, for next time.
For next time,
But
but we also prep the images so people can see.
we need some marketing. We need some
Mm.
marketing, and then we need a preview of the free ones, at least a
Hmm.
couple of them, because a lot of people asked after we posted this, what do you actually get? Is it some sort of recurring thing? Do you get 40 every month, or
Mm.
what do you get? And we need to clarify and show exactly what you get. Is these 40? That's all. You got them. You can use them. You got all the contacts of the people in the 40, so
Is
we
this
know
like a
exactly.
boilerplate for marketing?
Pretty much. As you know, I am not a developer anymore. The previous thing with the terminal and so on, that was
Mm.
ChatGPT just doing things. I'm actually a marketer. Yeah,
And a pretty good one, though.
not as good as you. Sandra,
Uh,
will you wrap up the show?
Absolutely, Dan. Thank you, everyone, for listening. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Music. You can watch us on YouTube at this point. Morning Maker Show,
Apple Podcast.
Apple Podcast, morningmakershow.com. We have great Discord you can join and chat with us all the time. And until the next show, have a lovely weekend. Have a great productive work. I hate doing this, Dan.
Bye.
That was it.